Having skepticism is fundamental to your faith. I know that doesn't sound very intuitive. In fact, it might even sound backwards. But just listen. Having true discernment means being picky about what you put into your belief system. If you just swallow every spiritual belief without questioning it, you're not building faith. You're just being gullible. And that is what we want to avoid. Being gullible can cause you to fall into a lot of trouble. If you believe everything, you'll believe anything. And we don't want that. That's how people get taken advantage of. That's how people fall into cults. That's why prosperity gospel is so popular. So many people giving their money away to these pastors, telling them that if they just believe hard enough, if they work hard enough, and they give a lot of money, and this is the big one, if they give big donations of money, hundreds, thousands of dollars, then miracles will happen. God will grant them what they want. They'll be able to manifest and create whatever future they want. But for many, it doesn't happen. Many people are spending their money, their hard-earned money, their savings, their car payments, their house rent on these promises and being left out, scammed. That's why so many Trump supporters are being disenfranchised. Trump has lied to them so much and they've given so much of their money to him, and they're starting to realize, hey, I'm not getting anything out of this. He just takes and takes and takes. They're being scammed. So we don't want to be gullible. Being gullible and being naive or open are different. Being open to new ideas, new things is okay, great, healthy even. But when we don't put the brakes on it, when we don't tamper it out, when we don't stop and say, hey, wait a minute, is this real? Should I listen to this? Is this true? If we don't investigate a little bit, then we leave ourselves open to be taken advantage of by people who take advantage of people, by people who's basically built a career on making sure they can scam people out of whatever they want to for their own gain. And there are plenty of people out there who will do this. And in whatever field, it doesn't matter what field you're in. That's why you have to be careful about who you listen to, who you trust, who you give all your power to. Authority figures, for example. You have authority figures in every field: science and spirituality and philosophy, experts who know what they're talking about. And it's okay to give your faith and trust in an expert. A lot of what they say can be true, but not everything they say is true. You have to be careful about giving one person the absolute truth, believing every single word that someone says. Nobody has the absolute truth. Nobody knows everything, including the subject they're an expert on. It's just too vast and too broad. They they just can't. It's impossible. That's why it's good to listen to have five or more experts that you listen to, people that you give your trust to, so you can find the holes in between. Some experts might be better in one subject than another, and it's great to have multiple to fill in the gaps. But you can't just be giving all of your trust to them. You have to have some discernment. You have to listen to them and think, do I truly believe what they're saying? I'm sure everybody has gone through an example of listening to someone that they trust and they think, hmm, I'm not sure if that's true, or for real? I don't actually believe that. But then some people ignore that nudge that they get. They ignore that and say, well, if so and so says it, it must be true. They've been right about X, Y, Z. They must be right about this. And ignore their own truth, their own intuition. They ignore that nudge. Don't do that. If you're listening to someone you trust or multiple people you trust about the same subject and something is just like, no, something's off here, I don't know about that. If there's a thought in the back of your head like, maybe I should look into that. Maybe I should investigate that. Maybe I should put that to the side. Maybe I should ignore that for now and continue on it. Listen to that. Listen to that voice. It's trying to tell you something. Again, not everybody has the whole truth. I believe it's the Mormons who call it the great apostrophe or apostasy. Yeah, I think it's called the great apostasy, where all the religions, all the truth has been scattered across all the religions and different cultures. Not one single person has the truth, but just according to the Mormons, they have gathered the absolute truth and have presented it in the Book of Mormon. But they're true about the great apostasy. Truth is scattered everywhere. Everyone has a bit of the truth. Everyone has a piece of the pie. No one has the whole pie. Do not believe everyone, or do not believe someone when they tell you that they have the whole truth. They're a liar. They're a scammer. And this includes me. I know that there are people who are going to watch this channel who give a lot of credence to me and respect what I say, but I am not the authority figure. I'm just a guide. What I want you to trust more than me is yourself. That is the whole point of my platform. I want you to trust yourself, become have autonomy, be independent, be able to guide yourself and your beliefs. Because I want you to trust your intuition more than you trust anything else. That should be the above all guidance. You, yourself, at the end of the day. Because you are the only one that knows what's going on with you. Going back to the authority figures, that's why it's good to have a balance. Having somebody who can give you suggestions and advice, but also listening to that inner guidance. You have to play with the two, but you should lead with your intuition. If you go to the doctor and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you, you're having all these symptoms, and the doctor is telling you that it's likely XYZ, but based on your own personal experience, XYZ isn't happening, your intuition is saying like these aren't right. That's where you have to like draw the line. The doctor knows a lot, is an expert in his field, has studied, gone to school, knows what they're talking about, but they don't know everything. That's why there are so many fields within science, so many different types of doctors, because not one person can know the whole thing, and different doctors within the same field have varying opinions. That's why you listen to different experts to get varying opinions. That's why you go to a second doctor for a second opinion. Why that's a common practice. It is okay to advocate for yourself and say, hey, I don't feel like this is going on with me, that this is not right, that something else is happening. Sometimes you have to fight and advocate for yourself because there are doctors that are having so many different patients, so many different clients that they talk to, and they hear the same symptoms over and over again. They start to think that everybody who's having these symptoms is having XYZ when it could be ZYX. They forget to pay attention, listen. I'm not saying all doctors do this, but a lot. Some doctors aren't just listening. You just come in, they check off some boxes, and they give you a drug so you can go on by. But sometimes you have to make the doctors listen, or go find a doctor that will listen. Because even though they know what they're talking about, they don't know everything that's going on with you. They're not living your life. They're not in your house. They're not eating the food you eat. They're not going to work. They're not experiencing your symptoms. So you have to advocate for you, and that's what you've got to do in spirituality or in any field. That's why skepticism is important. You can't just always trust what you hear. You have to also have some discernment. Discernment is important. Now, some people will say, well, like, skepticism usually means that you can't believe in the unseen, or like skepticism means that you need to have proof of everything. That's not necessarily true, or at least in my opinion. And again, my opinion is not law. I'm just a guide. I want to help you listen to yourself. But in my opinion, personal experience can sometimes play in favor of empirical evidence. Sometimes there's just not a lot of empirical evidence one way or another on things. So we have to go based off of our personal experiences. For example, ghosts. There are plenty of people who would say that there are no such things as ghosts because they just have not had enough proof of that. There are plenty of people who have experienced multiple experiences or episodes of supernatural phenomena that gives them the conclusion of ghosts. Personal experience basically just goes beyond the natural phenomena. It basically says, I've had so many experiences of XYZ that just simply cannot be explained by natural phenomena for this not to be real. That is what personal experience does. The thing about personal experience is that it's personal. You are gathering this experience, this knowledge on your own. And there may be other people who are also having similar experiences to you, but it's not long. And there are a lot of gurus, people in the spiritual community, who act as if their personal experiences and what they've learned and the truth that they've garnered from that is the absolute truth. And we need to break away from that. Your personal experience is your personal experience, and you can use that as your truth, but you cannot tell other people or expect other people to believe what you believe simply because it's happened to you. You have to give them grace and give them space to have it proven to them, for them to experience it, for them to investigate, for them to find the truth. And sometimes often happens, people have different experiences. So where you may be having all these ghost experiences, somebody that you know may not. And it's not to say that ghosts don't exist or ghosts do exist, but there are two different experiences going on. And we just have to let people live their lives and have their experiences and just trust our own experiences sometimes. We just have to trust what we know. We have to go with what we know. And we just have to understand that. But that does not mean that what we have is true for everyone else. Some people feel the need to say that what they know is true and that personal belief is the absolute truth for everybody, and that's not the case. There has to be a balance between giving credence to yourself, but also letting other people have credence for themselves. Everybody needs to build their own intuition and build their own belief system on their own faith. That's how we keep away from being um, taken advantage of. That's the beauty in spirituality. A lot of people say that spirituality or new age or it's just too much. There's not a lot of information. There's too much information, and people are just like indifferent. There's not like a congruent system where everybody has the same belief. That's a good thing. That is the benefit of spirituality. Yes, it can be a double-edged sword because people get confused and lost, but it also protects us from falling into cults. As long as we don't, as long as we are being skeptical and having discernment, that is the main thing. That is, obviously the point of this video. We need to be discerning about who we're giving our faith to, what we're believing in, and how we're acting upon those beliefs. I mean, there have been a lot of beliefs in spirituality that I've had to take a moment to step back and be like, I don't know about that, or my experience isn't the same as that. I mean, in spirituality, there are a lot of people having different experiences. That's why it's so confusing and why people say it's so bad because of that. But there are some strings of commonality. There are some concepts that have become universal throughout the populace. It's just when you get into the details. But there are some popular concepts that are a lot of people believe in spirituality that I've come to find out either aren't true or not true in the way that most people think. Because I did not believe immediately. I held back my belief and investigated and waited until I'd had my own personal experiences with this truth. An example being belief about needing belief in order to manifest. Like, in order to manifest, you have to believe what you want is can happen, that it's true, that it's coming to you, and you have to act as if, and that thing will come into your life. A lot of people who talk about manifestation say this. A lot of people teach this. But if you've been somebody who's attempted this and tried to believe and tried to manifest, a lot of people have been disappointed because the thing won't happen. And I guess a lot of people just tell them you don't believe hard enough or you're manifesting incorrectly. When it's not that they're doing it wrong, they're just not doing it in the right order. There's a step that they're missing. In my experience, what is often missing is alignment. Yes, believing as if and working towards your goal does bring manifestation, but only when you've got the right soil for it. Alignment is like the soil preparing for the seed. The seed of belief cannot grow in just any soil, it has to be the right fertile soil. So if you're in alignment, if you're in the flow, your intuition is going to tell you, hey, this thing is going to happen. You're going to know it because you're in the flow. You're going to feel it and you're going to believe more easily. And when you believe more easily, you have more desire to follow inspiration. You get more divine inspiration and you follow these inspirations and you keep going until your thing manifests because you're in the flow. You're in alignment for it. You're on the path towards it. If you're outside of the flow, if the thing you're trying to manifest is causing resistance, or every time you try to pull it in, it seems to get further away from you, it's because you're not in the flow. You're not following your intuition. Your intuition is saying, not right now, not at this moment. This is not it. We need to do X, Y, Z. We need to be over here. We need to follow something else. The river of alignment has not flown in that direction yet. Sometimes it takes patience. Sometimes it's wait. Sometimes it's just not meant for you. Your life, this thing that you want, is just not meant to be in your life. That's happened to me. I wanted to be an actress. I took theater in high school and in college. I studied it. I was an avid movie watcher. I watched so many movies because I wanted to be in a movie. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to be in movies. But there was a point in my life where I had to realize that that wasn't going to happen for me. Becoming an actress wasn't in my path, wasn't in my purpose. Not because it was bad or because I couldn't act or any of that. But for this life, I had something else that was meant for. Sometimes the things we want are not the things we need or were destined for us. Everybody has a different life and everybody has different things that are destined for them. So what is destined for one may not always be destined for you. So sometimes we have to let go of things to move on, to find something else. And now that I know what my purpose is, what I'm supposed to do, I'm more excited about it than I am about acting. Does it hurt that I'm not going to be an actress? It did in the past, but now I'm kind of more excited about doing what I am here to do, which is help you guys listen to your intuition, grow that connection, be a guide for others to be more independent, have a more autonomy. That is my goal. That is my purpose. And I'm finally living it. And I'm finally uploading videos on YouTube. I had the desire to do that for a while, but it didn't immediately happen. I wasn't in the flow yet. And so all that to say is that from my personal experience, that is what I believe. Not to say that the common belief that you need to believe in order to manifest and you just visualize and take inspired action, all that's important, but alignment comes first. And that I only got after having personal experience, living the life, just and recognizing the patterns in my own personal life. It wasn't immediately evident or true to me at first. I had to take time and to investigate and listen to that nudge that was saying, maybe this isn't true. And that's all I think you guys need to do. That's all I'm saying is necessary, is that we need to be skeptical and we need to listen to our intuition. The two play a big part in each other. Your intuition will tell you what things you need to be skeptical of and what things you need to be open to. And it'll be a great protector of keeping you from falling into being taken advantage of. So always remember, trust the voice within. That's all for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.